Tanabata Manga.
A childhood friend of mine was self-employed in a small town by the sea, running a rental warehouse shop, or rental storage space. The ocean there was a surfing mecca, and many surfers visited every day. The warehouse was open 24 hours a day. Each storage room is also equipped with lighting, so even late at night, the storage room is well lit and easy to load and unload. There's one power outlet, so you can charge your cell phone and other devices. And since users can freely use the water supply outside, it is the perfect place for surfers. Inside, you can leave your surfboard and all your gear. Visit in the summer before you go to work in the morning, and when you're done surfing, wash yourself off at the waterworks. Some people would change in their own warehouse, and it was quite busy. I don't surf, but I rented the smallest space in the warehouse, and I would leave my fishing gear there. Even though it's small, there's a 2 square meter space, so when I go fishing at night, I would pass the time making gear and reading books until it was time to go fishing. One late night, on my way back from a fishing trip, I walked over to the vending machine behind the warehouse to get something to drink, and I saw a couple of kids hanging out.
Wow, that's awesome! Seriously, it's so good!
And it was pretty rowdy. I wondered what they were doing, so I looked closely in the dim light and saw that they were tagging the walls of the warehouse. It was what you might call spray art or graffiti. And it was pretty bad if I leave them like this. I was afraid they would cover the entire wall. To seize the scene, I grabbed one of the kids from behind who was absorbed in the graffiti. "All right, that's enough," and shouted loudly. The startled kids all stopped at once and turned to me. Then they all dashed away, except for the kid I'd grabbed hold of. The kid who got caught.
Hey, somebody help me!
And called out for help to his friends as they ran away. But not one turned back, and the kid was left behind. I called my friend, the storage owner, who lived nearby. "Come to the vending machine in the back right now. His kid was doing something bad, so I got hold of him and let him know." "I'll be right there. I'll take about 15 minutes, so keep hold of the kid." So I waited for him to come.
Old man, get your hands off me! It hurts!
If I let go of your hand, you'll run away. And I'm not an old man yet.
I won't run.
I don't trust you. He would try to run away at the drop of a hat while waiting for my friend to come over. So I put my arms around the kid the whole time, holding his wrists behind his back. 3 minutes later, the friend comes along. "What happened?" "The wall, look." I shined the flashlight I was holding in my hand on the wall and showed it to my friend. "Huh? What is this? It's so bad!" My friend was angry. This kid was graffitiing with a couple of his friends, and I thrust the kid in front of my friend. "Hey, give me your phone."
What are you going to do?
"Just give it to me," he growls. The kid reluctantly pulls his cell phone out the back pocket of his pants after being confronted. My friend immediately took the phone and called the kid's house, and then the kid's father picked up the phone. "Please come to the Tanabata rental warehouse near the beach right now. We need to talk to you about what your son has done." My son? I mean, what time do you think it is?" "It's 1 a.m. Is there a problem?" "What do you mean? What do you want this late at night? You have no common sense." "It's your son who has no common sense. Anyway, your son has done something terrible to our warehouse, so please come as soon as you can." "I don't know what he did, but can't we do this tomorrow?" "Okay. We were not going to call the police if we could talk to the parents first and settle this. But, well, if that's the case, I'll have the police come and take care of it." "What? The police? Ugh, I understand. I'll be right there." After a while, since the father was knocked awake in the middle of the night, he drove up with a sulky face. "Yes, I'm here. Why did you have me come here this late at night? What did my son do?" "Well, take a look at this." And I shine my flashlight on the graffiti again. The father looks at the graffiti and, "What? You called me up in the middle of the night for this?" He was stunned. "What? Graffitiing on a wall in someone's house isn't a big deal. I mean, all we have to do is repaint that, right? Okay, I'll pay for the paint at least." The friend, annoyed by the father's reticent attitude. You'll pay for it? Only painting this part would change the texture and color, so I'll have you paint the whole thing. I'm relieved to hear that you'll pay for it, he said. But paint the whole thing? Isn't that a little too much? And the father suddenly starts to panic. Our paint is special. Originally, it was just a warehouse that was converted and built without any insulation, so we use a special paint that reduces the rise in temperature on the surface of the walls. It's pretty expensive. And the whole place is tanned, so a fresh coat of paint on a part of the wall would make it stand out, so we would need you to repaint the whole wall. And speaking of repainting the whole thing, the warehouse is a monstrosity, about 1,000 square meters in size. And since it's a special paint, the estimate alone would cost several million yen at least. Then the father suddenly turned pale and, "Why did you do this?" began to question his son. And then the son, in a whisper,
I thought it would be cool.
Hearing that, the father startled, and, "Yes, if you look closely, this graffiti fits the atmosphere of this warehouse so well. It only looks like a scribble if you look at it that way. But if you think of it as art, it's cool, don't you think?" he said. No, that's too much of a stretch. It was obvious that he was trying to avoid having to repaint the whole thing. And then the friend. "You're right. It's starting to look cool the more I look at it." He started to agree with the father. Huh? I was surprised, and so was the kid and his father. Right, isn't it? And just as the father was relieved, my friend quickly. Then draw this cool thing over there, too. He pointed to a brand new car that the father came in. What? On the car? Oh, but I just got that car and... You looked at the graffiti and said it was cool, didn't you? I did, but I don't think that car and this drawing would go together. That's fine, if you paint it and think it doesn't look good, you can just paint over it. The father could not say anything and fell silent. And then my friend followed up. If you're going to draw it all over so it can be seen from all directions. It's either that or I call the police. Which do you prefer? And he pressed the father. In the end, he chose the police, so they were summoned. And the kid was taken home by a police car. After that, the faces of all the kids who had been graffitiing with him were revealed. And they were all severely scolded by the police. On top of that, the school found out and suspended their attendance. The warehouse was repaired at a fixed price by a contractor, and my friend painted it himself with home improvement paint.
Thank you for watching all the way to the end. What did you think of today's episode? Leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on today's story. And if you enjoyed it, don't forget to like and subscribe.